Quite often online in both comments and in direct messages, I get asked the question, is it a good time to get into auto sales? You know, someone's looking for a career change. Maybe they want something like a commission-based job. Maybe they're a car person and they watch videos online and they think, you know what? I can do that. I can make a living selling vehicles. So they ask me because I have a channel talking about just that. And I will say that it is always a good time to start a career in auto sales. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna take a look at the month of May for the last 10 years, 9 years, and how many cars I've sold each May, each year, you know, year over year since 2015. So if you go back to 2015, I did 21 cars. 2016, I did 18. 2017, I did 19. And if you go down the list here, you'll see 14, 23. In 2020, I did 29 units. Now, to be fair, that was during the pandemic. I'm here in New Jersey. I think at that point in time, we only had 2 salespeople working. So, you know, sales were down. However, you were spreading it only among 2 people. So it actually ended up being a very good month for me. We continue on to 2021 when we had like the chip shortage and we started having availability issues. I did 19. 2022 is when the inventory really dried up. I remember in August of 2022, we were down to 6 new cars on the lot. But in the month of May 2022, my worst month in this entire chart here, 11 units. Followed up by last year, 2023, higher interest rates, a little bit better inventory. I did 24. This month right now, I'm sitting at 16, and today's the 28th. I still have the rest of today, which is Tuesday. I have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to sell cars. So hopefully I'll hit 20 or 21 this month in 2024. Now, the reason I bring this up is because if you watched YouTube in the last 3 to 4 years, you would have seen videos and thumbnails and commentary about all the different reasons why dealerships are going to go under. They're going under because of the pandemic. They're going under because of the chip shortage. They're going under because there's no inventory. When there was no inventory, the prices went through the roof. The dealer addendums came out, over MSRP started happening, and that was going to kill the industry. Then interest rates went through the roof. Now we're dealing with that. Now we have people saying that we have too much inventory, so now we have to give the cars away. That's going to cause the dealerships to go under and the manufacturers to go out of business. It's all just a bunch of noise. And you can't let that noise affect your decision making. Because here I am, a perfect example, right? I'm nothing special. I'm a car salesman in northern New Jersey working at a small Chevrolet dealership. One of 5 locations. Overall, we're actually pretty big, but in one of the smaller locations of the 5. And with all the stuff that's gone on in the last number of years, guess who still has a job and guess who's still selling cars? And that's why I would recommend, if you're looking to get into the industry, don't wait, just get into it, because look around. Everybody needs a car. For the most part, unless you're in a city center where you take public transportation, everybody drives cars. And for the unforeseeable future, you're going to be buying those cars from dealerships. So people can get a job, they can start a career, they can spend some time there, they can build a customer base, and they can make it a very good career path to earn them some money and you know, make a living. Even in the example like Tesla, where you buy direct from manufacturer, there are still sales opportunities there. And those people do very well. They actually probably work a lot less than the average salesperson, and they make good money. So if you're thinking about getting into the industry, what I would say first to do is pick a brand that has a lot to offer. The reason I like Chevrolet, we've had cars, we have crossovers, we have big SUVs, we have pickup trucks. Well, we don't really have vans anymore, but we had vans for a while. We have something that can kind of fit everybody's needs. We have electric vehicles, we have gas vehicles. You know, we have a little bit of everything. You know, if you work for a brand that only has a handful of cars, you're gonna limit yourself on how many people you're actually gonna get in front of just based on that alone. The next thing I would do is pick a store that has a sales culture that aligns with your values, right? So the reason I work here at Schumacher Chevrolet of Livingston is because there's no nonsense. We have one dealer fee, it's our documentation charge, it's $389. When you compare it to our competition in the area here in northern New Jersey, we're one of the least expensive out there. What we don't do is we don't put pinstripes on our car and charge you $300. We don't charge you internet processing fees. We don't charge you prep fees. We don't hammer you with a dealer addendum with all these extra options on it that are really, you know, low value, high cost dealer profit centers. We don't do that. And I like the fact that we don't do that. And my customers like the fact that we don't do that. It just makes the business easier. Personally, I wouldn't work at a store that did that sort of thing. It's just not in my nature. The third thing I would recommend you do is find a dealership that fits your brand, it fits your values, and is also as close as humanly possible to where you live. I'll give you an example. Today's Tuesday. It's normally my day off, but yesterday was Memorial Day. We were closed, and since we were closed Monday, I wanted to come into work today. This way I can get stuff done. I can hopefully get a couple more sales before the end of the month. I live like 5 minutes from here, so it's very easy for me to come in on my day off. If I have to meet a customer, it's very easy for me to do any kind of back and forth because I'm right here. That's very, very important. At some point in time in my career, I lived about 45 minutes from here. It was a hassle to have to drive that far in to meet a customer for an hour and then drive that far back home. So try to find something that's as close to home as possible. And once you find that dealership and you go on your interviews, and if they give you a shot and you get hired, learn every single thing you can learn about the product so you can educate your customers on it. Treat your customers very well in that you want to overwhelm them with customer service because most salespeople aren't going to do it. And if you do that, people will keep coming back to you. The last thing you got to do is you got to stay at that location. A lot of salespeople hop around. Every time you hop around, you're starting a new customer base, right? It's very hard for people to find you if you're not at the same store. So you want to put in your time. It might take 2, 3, 4, 5 years to do that. But when you get to that point, like for me, I'm here 18 years. I have people coming back to see me constantly. Tomorrow, I'm actually delivering 2 cars. The first one is this black Equinox LS here. This is the 3rd car this customer has purchased from me. I'm also delivering this brand new 2024 Traverse LT. This is the newly styled Traverse. This is actually the first one that our location has sold. This is the 4th car this customer purchased from me. The Trailblazer I'm sitting in right now was not my customer. It was a customer of Jackie's who's no longer with the store. So for me, it's what we call an orphan owner because now it's going to another salesperson. They're picking this car up later in the week. And that's another example of someone who had a good experience at the store. So they got on the phone, they called back. They actually dealt with one of our managers last time. He got everything set up with it this time, and I'm gonna be able to put this car on the road. And every one of these customers are dealing with the market that we're in, right? So to the original question, is it a good time to get into auto sales in the current state of the market? Well, the market's gonna constantly change. It's gonna have its ups and downs, and you just have to find a way to work with that. To give you an example, this Traverse customer that's leasing this, their current LT Traverse lease is at $443 a month. We structured this one the same exact way in today's times with today's programs, today's interest rates, and it's $669. The customer that's leasing this black LS Equinox is actually driving an LT Equinox with a confidence and convenience package. So they went down to a lower model to help keep the payment down, and their payment is still going from $325 on the current one to $351 on this new one. And lastly, this Trailblazer, which their current lease on their Trailblazer is $307, this one is now going to be $370. Although I don't know the exact structure if it matches perfectly. It could be a little bit more equipment because I didn't sell the last car. But it just goes to show, again, the market's going to change, and not only do manufacturers have to adapt, not only do dealerships have to adapt, salespeople have to adapt, customers alike have to adapt. But the main thing is, for the most part, a very, very high majority of the population of this country needs a car to live their life. So it's a great time to get in sales. Do it.